welcome to this CPD, this professional development event for teachers for the UK and globally. Oh, I'm on mute. Let's unmute myself. Okay, I am hopeful that we're going to have some people join us really soon. So I'm going to just go ahead and start and make an introduction because we are recording this for the YouTube channel, Time Smart Teaching. So welcome to this continuing professional development series for teachers. This is all about helping you wherever you are in the world, wherever you are teaching, to gain your first promotion in teaching, taking your career to that next step, that next level, whatever that might be for you. So I'm going to be speaking from my experience, my personal experience of getting promoted, seeing other people get promoted, and to help you guys move forward, because I ran a little poll on LinkedIn and about just over 30% of you said you were looking to get promoted in 2024. So I thought, bingo, that is something I can help you guys with. So my name is Jane Bell. I am the author of Time Smart Teaching, and my goal is to help teachers globally work less, earn more money, and have a much better work-life balance and better well-being. That is my mission, because I was once a burnt-out teacher, and I want to help other people go down that path to teacher burnout. It's not a pretty place to be. So why should I be teaching you on this specific subject? Well, I'll tell you, I am quite proud about the fact that every single time I have applied for a teaching job, I have always been selected to come to interview. I've not always got the job, but I've always been selected for interview based off my CV and my teacher application writing skills. And so I want to share some of those tips with you because it's a big investment in time. Oh, hi, Chris. I can see Chris has joined us. Welcome. It's a really big investment in your time, writing an application form to go for your interview, to go for your first promotion. It's a big time investment. And so I want to maximize your chances of making that pay off. If you're just joining us, I just want to make you aware that I am recording this session. It's an audio session and it will be available on my YouTube channel, Time Smart Teaching. So if you've not caught the beginning, don't worry, you'll be able to access it. That's my toddler behind me. I'm just going to see if she can. I'm just going to see if I can, get her out of the way. Just bear with me. This is the life of, trying to teach and parent and build a business at the same time. Okay, so I would just like to take a moment to ask you a few questions to consider whether you are in the right place to go for a promotion. Are you ready to go for a promotion? Because the last thing that I would like you to do is go for a position of responsibility before you're ready and find that it just leads to overwhelm, stress, and burnout. So if you've been teaching for less than 2 years, I would say, hold your horses. I have seen people who have been promoted, gone for promotion, or almost been pushed into being promoted to like a head of department within the first 2 years, and it has not ended well. It has really affected them. You have to be in a position where you are, able to manage your own workload effectively, where you have to be organized. And when because you need to have extra time to commit to supporting others. And you need to be on top of your own workload in order to do that. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure and stress.
Mommy, I want a dolly dance.
Okay. Grace, get the dolly dance. She wants the dollies to dance with.
Grace, I want a dolly
That is Darcy, my toddler, in the background. So, if you're confident that you're at that position where you want to take that on, here are some things to look out for. Do you find yourself looking at your existing head of department or your existing school leader and think, I could do this better? I would do this that way. Do you find yourself having that internal dialogue where you're thinking, actually, I could do that job and I could do it better? and have all these ideas in your head about what you would do. If you're having that kind of an internal conversation with yourself, that's a really good sign that you're ready to go for a promotion in school. That's kind of like how I felt when I knew I was ready to go from being a geography teacher to go to being the head of geography. But I didn't get into that position until about, I'd say, like 4 years in. Like the first 2 years, I was struggling to get a grip on my workload. So that's one way you can kind of tell. Now, there might be some people listening back to this who already are doing things that deserve a promotion. They might already be doing tasks within school that they should be getting extra pay for, or they should be getting extra time off timetable for, and they might not even realize it. Because if you have been in schools, you know that schools like to take advantage of teachers. They love to have us work and do as much as we can for free, right? So I want to share with you a couple of stories about people who managed to negotiate a promotion or an increase in pay, which we like to call a TLR in the UK. TLR stands for a teaching and learning responsibility. And I'm going to share those stories with you to get you thinking, are you already in the position where you deserve that promotion? Are you already entitled to that pay rise? So there is a teacher, an English teacher in a school that I've worked at recently. We'll call her Miss Brown. And she was the only person in the department. Welcome, Asma, to the session. Don't worry, it's being recorded, so you can listen back. So I'm just telling you the story of Miss Brown. And Miss Brown was an English teacher, and two of her colleagues were off on long-term sick. So she was the only teacher that was actually coming in to teach day in, day out. And unfortunately, Miss Brown was being expected to set cover work every day in, day out for both of her colleagues, okay, for about 4 or 5 months. Now, Miss Brown was just a teacher at this point. She had no extra responsibility. But as you can imagine, that put a lot of strain on her. And she got to the point where she had a bit of a nervous breakdown because she was having to manage all of her own classes, do all of her own teaching, and she was just being expected to keep providing all this cover work for all the supply teachers. And part of the thing that she did when she came back, because she was burnt out, was she basically negotiated for herself a promotion. She was saying, look, I'm doing all this work. You can't expect me to keep doing this without any extra pay, without, any extra promotion. So when she returned, they gave her a TLR. They basically made her second in the department, in the English department. So she had a promotion there because she was already going above and beyond what another normal classroom teacher would not be expected to do. Now, there are other examples like this about teachers going above and beyond and being in a position where they should be asking for promotion. So if you're interested in those examples, then you need to grab a copy of my book, Time Smart Teaching. It's on page 143 and 144. So I'm just going to read briefly from the book here. It says, some typical examples of additional responsibilities that meet the payment criteria for a TLR payment include these examples. If you're being asked to coordinate and lead on a Duke of Edinburgh programme, which is an extra accreditation that we run in the UK, where kids basically get taken out, they go camping, hiking, lots of risk assessments need to be done, and they get this like extracurricular badge from the King, or as it was then, the Prince of Wales. If you're being asked to start a new course, to start and implement and resource a new course, maybe travel and tourism, maybe like a foundation level GCSE, those sorts of things, you're entitled to a promotion, more money for these things. So think about whether you're entitled to that. Okay, so moving along now, we're going to look at the two ways that you can basically get a promotion within school. You can either go for a promotion in the school that you're at, or you can apply to be promoted and leave school to get a promotion somewhere else at another school. So you might think that it's easier to get a promotion where you are in your existing school, and that can be the case, but not always. You might still find that you're up against external candidates who are applying from elsewhere and coming in. What you cannot do is you cannot presume that the senior leaders in your school who are interviewing you, you can't presume that they already know all the magical, wonderful things that you're doing, even though that's tempting. Okay, you still have to spell out for them on your application form or on your CV how great you are. So some of the things that I suggest that you pop in your application form are the following. First and foremost, you need to highlight your strengths as a teacher or a leader. Highlight how well you've worked effectively as a team. Can you bring people alongside you? Can you be relied upon? Talk about anything where you have taken the lead specifically. So anything that you've kind of had ownership of, even if it's something really simple, like maybe you've been asked to create better wall displays or literacy displays to help support your whole department, and maybe they were all given to all the classrooms. Do you work well and communicate with others? Can you be relied upon to meet deadlines? Are you bringing something new to your department? For example, I've been teaching my department how to use ChatGPT for the first time. That's not something anyone told me to do. That was something I wanted to do and I wanted to share because I love ChatGPT. So anything like that you're bringing to your department, tell them about that. They might not know. And basically toot your own horn, right? Get good at saying how great you are, because especially if you're a woman, I don't think that this always comes naturally to us. You need to get good at selling yourself and saying why you're amazing and what advantages are you going to bring to your school. What you need to be aware of if you're applying for a promotion at another school is you need to know what the priorities are for that school. What are they looking to get better at? And the best way to do this is to look at their Ofsted report or their school improvement plan, which is called a SIP. You could email and request the SIP, the school improvement plan, beforehand. And there will definitely be some targets on there that the school will be looking to improve. And if you can find a way to weave those targets into your application, that's going to give you such an advantage. So, for example, when I recently applied for my teaching job that I'm in now, I knew that literacy was a major focus for the school. We have lots of students whose reading age is not matching up to their actual age. So I made sure that I talked about all the literacy strategies that I had used in my previous job and how I could help bring those and make those successful in the new job. So get a hold of the report, get a hold of the Ofsted report, and make sure you are checking those boxes. Also, when you're looking at applying for your teaching job, in the application pack, there will be something called a person specification, and it will say this is the sort of person that we are looking for. Make sure that you are, again, going through and you're mentioning everything that they're looking for. They're looking for someone with a passion for their subject. Great. Tell them about what you love about your subject. What's your favorite topics to teach and learn? And, talk about how committed you are to your subject. And those things will hugely improve your chance of being called for interview, because you're showing that you're doing your research. You're not just copying and pasting, your last application into this one. You've got to show that you've looked at the school and that you've read their Ofsted report and that you know what matters to the school. Highlight your strengths. Now, one of the other things that might be worthwhile for you to do before interview, especially if you're going for a leadership position, so head of department, if you're leading a year group, or you're going for like a vice principal or assistant principal job, is I would know a little bit about leadership styles. I was asked in my interview, when I was brought in for interview for head of geography, I remember the head said to me, "What leadership style would you say you are?" And I was like, I have no clue. So I said the only thing that I knew, which was, well, I lead by example. I expect people to do as I do, not do as I say. Now, fast forward a few years on, I know that really means that my style is servant leadership. Yeah, I'm serving the people that I'm working with. I'm not dictating to the people that I work with. So I would strongly suggest that you do a little bit of homework about leadership and leadership styles if you're going for that type of promotion. And a great book to read to get some information on that is Keith McNally's leadership book called Walking the Path, A Leader's Journey. It's brilliant and it's written in the style of like storytelling. Connect with Dr. Keith McNally on here on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to his book and my book in the comments underneath this live audio event here on the event page. Now, one other thing you need to do with your application or your teaching CV is you need to give lots of examples, okay? Examples of what you have done to improve your teaching, your learning, improve results for students, improve your department. Lots of examples. So if you have helped to get your students from, I don't know, like 50% pass rate up to a 70% pass rate over 2 or 3 years, that's phenomenal. Use that data, put that information into your application. You want to give them enough detail and enough examples to pique their curiosity about you, but you don't want to go into such great depths. You don't need to be overly detailed because you want to leave them wanting more. You want them to go, oh, I really want to know more about that person. We'll have to bring them in for interview. You want to give them enough, but reel them in, make them want to interview you to find out more about yourself. And my final tip is this. Once you have written your teacher CV or you have written your application, get ChatGPT to edit it for you, spell check it, get it to organize it for you, or restructure it, and it will put in headings and it will, make sure that it's logical and it flows. And you could also ask it to give you some suggestions. How might I improve this? It's great at proofreading and checking your teaching CV or your teacher application. I did it on my last teaching application job, and it did super. So I would suggest that as like the last step before you send it off, is to run it through ChatGPT. So I hope I've given you some things here to help get you on your way to getting your first school promotion. If you liked this, let me know. Send me a DM or pop a little comment underneath. And if you're watching this back or you're listening to this back on my YouTube channel, Time Smart Teaching, great. Come over to LinkedIn and follow me there. I'll put a little link to my LinkedIn profile on the description of the video. So good luck with all of your applications and your future promotions. I'm hoping that you will now be in a position of strength to move forward, and the best of luck with your teaching career. That's all for me today. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend.